Okay, so I'm stuck. I found my contrast. It's there. So I know what I don't want now. Totally sure on that. So I go real general. I even went to the beach a lot of times, listened to you there. It was calm, it was cool. I felt really good. So then I started to get into specifics on what made me feel good, and I felt better and better. I felt it, I could see exactly where I wanted to be. Everything was great, so I started to do action to get to it. It sucked. So I listened to more of your CDs.
So you felt like you were getting inspired action.
That's the problem. I
Yeah,
thought
it
it was
is.
inspired, but it didn't feel good.
But how do you know? How do you know till you try? So it's like you don't do anything wrong. You thought it was inspired action, but it didn't feel good, which is telling you what?
It was wrong.
Well, at least there's more resistance in it than you want. But what happens in the middle of something like that is you just shoot off more rockets of clarity, yes?
So I went back, and I went back to the beach and got more general again, because I'm really taking the emotion and the grid. So I realized, okay, something went wrong. Let's go back to general. I don't feel good. General.
Let's put it a different way. It's not that something went wrong. It's that I haven't yet prepared my grid for easy access to what I want. In other words, more preparation of my grid is necessary. So I'll go back to the beach, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go back to being general again.
Yes.
And feeling better and better and better till I get specifically.
Here's the part that we think
I'm missing.
You're helping us clarify. Let's put it that way. We want the specifics to fill in. We want to call the grid filling in the specifics coming. In other words, we would like you to know that the contrast was specific and caused you to launch the rocket. Now, your work is to prepare the grid to allow what's in the vortex. That's a good way of saying that, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm going to prepare myself vibrationally to allow what's in the vortex. And when you, by going general is a very good way, by meditating, by taking lots of walks, by going to the beach, by petting your cat, your rabbit. So as you prepare the grid, now the vibration of where you are and the vibration of what's in the vortex are on the same vibrational wavelength. So now the vortex contents are going to begin in a perfect way flowing into your grid. And that's when you're going to get an inspiration to act. So the specifics, let's say it will help you. The specifics are going to reveal themselves to you. You don't have to figure them out. And when you are trying to figure them out, sometimes you're filling in your own grid rather than allowing it to fill in. And it's just trial and error isn't the right word because there's no error. But you just got to do it and feel it and do it and feel it, and you'll just get better and better and better at it.
Okay, so where I'm lost is
most of you are action oriented, and so you'll take action first no matter what, whether you're aligned or not. So when you take action before you're aligned, it's always a misfiring. It's always the unwanted becomes bigger, which is not a problem, because when unwanted becomes bigger, wanted becomes bigger too. It's all part of the sifting and sorting process.
So I see where I want, and I feel it, and I can smell it, and it's beautiful. How do I figure out how to get the action to get, like, I'm stuck between there and there.
Because you're pointing out your exact sticking point.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, I accept, I put it in the vortex, I can feel that it's in there, I can sense that it's in there.
I see it.
But I'm impatient that it's not manifesting sooner, and that is the sticking point. In other words, you're not satisfied with the feeling of it, you want the manifestation of it, and since you don't have the manifestation of it, you've got negative emotion going, which is keeping it from coming. It just couldn't be a clearer example.
Wow. But don't you eventually
But then
have
you
to
set it up that way. Your opening words to us were, I am stuck. And let me demonstrate to you, Abraham, the way I'm keeping myself stuck. I sift, I know what I want, I can sense that it's there, I feel like I need to do something, so I do something, and it doesn't feel good when I'm doing it, and then I don't get the results that I want, and I'm stuck.
So how do I get unstuck?
By not caring about the manifestation, by taking pleasure in the idea of it in the vortex. You see, when you want something that you don't when you want something that you don't have so much that it hurts not to have it,
Right.
you can't get it. When you want it so much that it hurts, you got to want it so much that it thrills you. You got to want it. You got to want it in a way that it feeds you. You got to want it in a way that it soothes you. You got to want it in a way that it evokes love from you. If you want something so much that it hurts, that hurting is your indication that you're not preparing your grid. You just keep saying, I want it, but I'm not ready. 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 I really, really, really want it, but I'm not ready. I really, really, really want it, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but I want it. I want it. I'm not ready, but 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 I want it, but I really, really want it. And there are a lot of other people that want it. We should have it. We should have this thing that we want.
But I
And
can
we say,
feel it, and it's happy, and it's peaceful. I smell it. I taste it.
Wait. Give that to us again.
Okay, so vibrationally, I feel it.
Give it to us in real version, and rather than conceptual.
I see exactly what it is. I can see a place. I can see a situation. I can feel myself in it. I can wake up in the morning as if I was there.
So now we had this
So
conversation
I'm trying
with
to be-
somebody earlier.
Yeah.
So do you think that you're feeling the presence of what you want more, or the absence of it? Because we know that money is money. Whether the subject of money to spend or not money to spend, it's still the subject of money, but they feel really different. They feel really different. Plenty of money, carefree money, not enough money. They feel really, really different. So which end of the stick do you think is most active within you? It's an easy answer. If it's not coming, it's the lackful end of the stick. You just don't know it, and that's what we want to awaken
Okay.
within you.
So I'm feeling it, but really deep down, I'm feeling that I don't
You're doing what
have
a lot
it.
of people do. You're counting on your action and your words, and you've talked yourself into believing that action and words mean that you're feeling it. But there's a difference. You've got to come to that subtle, sensitive place. Can you feel the difference between excitement and nervousness?
Right now, yes.
See, a lot of people will say, I'm excited about something, especially when they come into a situation like this. They want to be here and they're excited, but it's scary too.
Yeah.
And so we say, so which vibrate? And often, as we visit a little, the scariness goes away and the enthusiasm dominates, and then we begin having really good conversations. So that's what you want to do. You want to be able to discern what vibration you've got going on by being sensitive. And the words don't matter so much, but how you feel is everything.
Because that's what I get confused with.
Do you think you
Like,
feel impatient?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you feel impatient more of the time or eager more of the time about this topic?
Impatient.
Yeah, for sure. But you know the difference. Do you ever feel eager about it? Yeah. Sometimes you feel eager till you think about it.
Yeah.
And then you get impatient.
And then I never know which action. I feel like I'm making the vibration.
Not action. Never
action.
mind the action. The action, the way you want your action to occur to you. You want to have practiced the feeling of it enough that the action is so compelling that you just can't not do it. You're not doing the action to make it work. You're not doing the action to help it along. You're doing the action because it's impossible for you not to, because the momentum of the thing is just carrying you. See how that works? See how that works? Do you? Do you?
That's where I get stuck. Because I feel sometimes I'm inspired. Like, there's certain steps you do to get to someplace.
Give us an example of something that some inspired action that you felt.
I don't want to get too specific in the situation. Like, say you wanted a...
No. We don't want a hypothetical.
Oh, God.
We want you to tell us about something that you felt inspired about.
It's actually been following what I thought I should do to get it. versus inspired, certain steps to get to look up information on something.
We're talking about something that you wanted to do, that was that the momentum of it got moving so well that it just seemed crazy to you, but Esther bought a car like that a few months ago. And it started out with a really general thought. I'd like a car that's a little smaller, because she's been driving big things, big SUVs and buses. I think I'd like a smaller car. It started out really general. And then she got looking at smaller cars and realized that in her vortex is something that's really fun and really fast and small and beautiful, exceptional. She wanted it to be exceptional. So she began visiting here and there, and someone gave her what she thought was the model of a small Cadillac. And she Googled it, and instead an Audi R8 came up on her screen. And she said, ooh. So her action was inspired, and something that she didn't expect to see showed up, and she had an emotional response to it, a strong emotional response to it. Prettiest car I've ever seen. So she started calling around, and they didn't have one in that state, and they didn't have one in that state, and they didn't have one in that state, and they didn't have one in that state. And then she was in Arizona and called and found one. So, there was nothing that was going to keep her from going and looking at that. In other words, it wasn't, should I or shouldn't I? It wasn't, well, maybe I'll just wait. It was, get out of my way. I'm going to go look at that car. Nothing was going to stop her from looking at it. And when she saw it, nothing was going to stop her from buying it. Nothing. Not logic, not rationality, the salesman said, do you want to drive it? And Esther said, I will. I will, but she could feel. It was an irrational by earth standards, irrational by any logic, irrational by being smart. It was completely an emotional, because it was in her vortex and it satisfied all the things that she cares about relative to that and more, things that she didn't even know about. She didn't know that she was going to learn about gravity and inertia and their relationship to each other. She didn't know that she was going to be in a car that was going to be close to the road for the first time and that she could go 80 around a corner that says go 40. She did not know that. She did not know that she could go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. She did not know that. In other words, all of that was in her vortex, but she did not consciously know it, but she emotionally knew it. When she saw it, I must have that car, you see. I will have it. Her daughter said, Mom, do we need to send a keeper with you from place to place? I'm afraid of what you might do. And Esther said, be very afraid. Be very afraid of what I might do. Because I'm following inspiration, and inspiration is not rational. Rational is what gets you stuck. You've reasoned and put things in the vortex, and now source has its spin on it, and all of the cooperative components are being gathered, and what you want is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The question is, and it's what we were asking our friend earlier, his dream is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Is he staying up to speed with the dream? In other words, that's what we mean when we say you cannot go back. You have to stay up to speed with the expansion that is you. And when you find those flashes where in that flash, we're just talking about a moment here and a moment here and a moment here and a moment here and a moment here. When you find yourself in the moment being up to speed, the inspiration flows and you get a hit on it. You feel excited. You feel a spike. You say, I want that. I want you. I want this. You feel it within you. It moves all through your being, you see. It's unmistakable. It's undeniable. You cannot miss it. And if it doesn't feel like that, it isn't that. Don't talk yourself into anything. Do the grid work by going general. And eventually, you'll have done it enough that you'll just sort of freakishly and accidentally find yourself in alignment with it, and inspiration will flow, and you'll know, this is the move I'm making right now, and I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. I can feel, this is the relationship between me and my source. I can feel it. I know it, you see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.